And launch maybe the perfect. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Sylvia, for this introduction. I'm very happy to hold this masterclass today, which is about discover your Ikigai to identify your career purpose. So it's one of the most exciting, I would say, webinars for me, because it's really about something deep that most of the time we don't have time to stop and reflect about. And it's so necessary. So I'm going to be showing you some data also, because I'm doing so many conferences regarding future of work. And today, having a career with purpose is one of the top most demanded wish for executives today. So it's really, it's a moment, I would say, that is really where many people are questioning the way they live, the way they work, and how to integrate their life wishes with their work wishes. So I'm gonna share my screen with you so we can stop sharing. Sorry, so I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna share. Okay, perfect. Okay, so this masterclass, I called it Discover Your Ikigai to identify your career purpose, because we need to be clear on what is our personal purpose to be able to extract from it our career purpose. I'm going to explain it actually in detail. So just a few intro, especially for the people that just joined this masterclass. So as for my experience, I have more than 18 years of international experience as an executive in big corporations. Those are the companies I've been working for till 2020. I have also more than 10 years leading teams as a senior marketing director and board member. And I have more than 2 years as international executive career advisor and strategist. And I'm also a business mentor and a keynote speaker for many business schools in Europe and also in the Middle East. So as for my story, for many years, I suffered myself from a lack of meaning and purpose. And I would say that for many years as well, I had no answer and no solution to it. And I also struggled in terms of work-life balance and meaning in general, and living a career from a purpose perspective. Until some years ago, I decided to take action, and I hired a mentor that helped me clarify my life purpose and helped me be aligned with what really matters to me and with my core values. And since then, I never stopped investing in my personal and professional growth, because I really believe that's our real capital. And that was for me the starting point to a deep personal and professional transformation with a big impact in my life and career. And actually, in 2016 and 2018, while I was still a marketing director, I decided to certify in coaching and leadership, because I identified it was one of my biggest life drivers. And I wanted to focus more and more on that area. And finally, in 2020, at the beginning of the lockdown, I decided to switch career and live my biggest passion, which is today to help executives achieve their most challenging career objectives in alignment with who they are and what they really want deep inside. So this masterclass is perfect, because we're going to be like working on the first phase, which is to uncover what is your Ikigai. And this is why this morning on my email, I asked you to prepare either a tablet where you can take notes, either a book note with a pen where you can take notes and take advantage of the masterclass to apply it to yourself. That would be my recommendation, so you can maximize the benefit of this session. Okay, so we're going to see in this 1-hour masterclass, first, what is the context and the agenda of today. Then we're going to see key facts, data basically, about the trends on the workplace. Then I'm going to show you the 5 steps to uncover your Ikigai and the related career purpose. I'm going to show you some programs I have, and there will be a Q&A session at the end. So you have also the opportunity to participate. And please feel free to use the chat during all the masterclass to ask questions, interact. Make sure that you have everyone activated on the chat, so everyone can see your comments. Okay, so let's start with the context. So actually, since 2020, I have been coaching more than 150 executives. And what I see mostly is that many executives feel frustrated, unsatisfied, and unfulfilled in their career journey. And many of them have no clarity on what is their career purpose, which I defined as basically the career destination. And therefore, they don't know which roads to take to get there. So this is the most challenging, I would say, point, which is this long-term vision. Yeah, and actually what I see as well is that they need more meaning and purpose in their life and career. So it's really something general everywhere. People have this strong need and urge to integrate more meaning, to integrate more dimensions on top of work into their life, to feel that they are in balance. They have joy waking up every morning. They want to move forward, basically. May I ask most of you to mute if you don't mind, please, so there's no noise on the masterclass. Thank you very much. Okay, thank you. So basically, there's a need to recover balance, joy, and positive energy. And however, they don't know how to find their career purpose because we were raised in a society with the work belief system where there's no only place for performance and hard work. So this is one of the pain points, especially for Generation X, which is my generation, and probably most of you here today. So today what's happening also is that we're facing for the first time 3 generations. So Generation X, Generation Y, which are the millennials, and Generation Z, which are the ones that are after the millennials, that want to live with purpose. So we have in the companies those 3 generations that starting merging together with completely different values and completely different perspectives. But there's something common. That is this, they're all looking for purpose and meaning in their career, not only on the life level, but also on the career level. And actually what they need is to shift their mindset and experience a new approach to life that integrates work. This is why I decided to use the Ikigai today, because we're going to start with the Ikigai, and then we're going to see how we can extract from your Ikigai your career purpose. So the objective of this masterclass is basically to understand how to identify your career purpose thanks to the Ikigai model to achieve more work-life balance and recover joy, positive energy, and well-being. So it's very connected. When we live our life where we have clarity on our purpose, and we implement it, we make it alive, that purpose becomes alive on the personal and the professional level, then naturally we gain in work-life balance. We recover joy and positive energy. Okay, so what we will learn today is basically, I'm going to start with one key question, which is for me important to answer, and which is why most people don't have a purpose today and keep working hard, focusing mainly on work and sacrificing the other dimensions of their life. Then why the current work system is preventing us from achieving a deep sense of purpose at work. Then we're going to look at the Ikigai, which is a Japanese model that helps identify our life's drivers and therefore uncover our life purpose and the related career purpose. And finally, how to shift your mindset from hardworking to working with purpose, enjoying your career journey. So when we talk about purpose, it's about enjoying. It's not about suffering. So this is why the purpose is so important in our everyday, because it really determines our mood, it determines our motivation, and finally determines also our productivity, our performance, and also our relationships with others. Because if we are in balance and grounded, there's going to be a completely different impact with the people around. So let's start with some figures I would like to share with you that are important. So since 2021, we see a movement that started in the US and is coming to Europe, which is called the Great Resignation, that accelerated. And actually 60% of employees plan to leave jobs in 2020. And actually one of the motivations why those employees are leaving their jobs One is because they want a fresh start. So they're getting bored in their current positions. The second motivation is because they lack purpose and sense of fulfillment. So it's really related to what we're going to discuss today. 3, they don't feel valued by their organizations and managers. So there's a gap in values, basically, and corporate culture. And finally, they don't feel a sense of belonging at work. So they don't feel like they are respected for who they are, and really this sense of inclusiveness is missing. And just to give you some figures, last year, 4.3 million Americans quit their job, voluntary. And what actually they mentioned is that 60% mentioned that there was an emotional disconnection from their colleagues and the culture of the companies. 40% say employers could do better keeping them informed. Over 60% would appreciate a company that recognizes their work, which would have helped them stay longer. And 57% are missing a sense of belonging, and they want to be part of a greater purpose, which would make them stay longer. So those are, I would say, challenges that many companies have today, which is about talent attraction and then talent retention. So especially with the millennials and Generation Z, which is the youngest one. So let me start with a key question that for me is really basic to understand why most people today, most executives today don't have a purpose, either at the life level or at the career level. Basically, because having a purpose was not part of our education system. And that's very important to understand it, that it's not, we have no responsibility or there's no guiltiness, no judgment about this. It's basically because, I mean, I remember on my own education, parents, school, society, I mean, purpose was not a key question. It was much more about work, you know? So that's the second point. And work is a very strong value for Generation X. So Generation X, just to situate, is the generation that is between, today has between 35 and 48 years old. So for this generation, the focus was on hard work, performance, and the work system that this generation has experienced for the last 15 years, I would say, or the last 20 years, has been extremely focused on performance and not on meaning. So if you look at many times I give an example, if you look at the annual assessments, you will see that it has been only recently that we have included soft skills. But for many years, the assessments were completely focused on results, action-driven, sales, business development. So lots of, skills that are focused on performance, basically. So it helps understand why most people don't have a purpose. It's because we are part of a generation where purpose was not part of the core values of this generation. And also because success was built around work and not around other human values and other life's dimensions. So for my generation, it's not what I believe today, but for many years, I grew up about this idea and this belief that I am successful if I'm successful at work, which means that I get promoted, I keep learning, I earn more money, and I get a position, social position. This is the way I'm simplifying, but this is in big lines the way we have been raised, basically. So what is the impact of this belief system that is much more focused on work, much more focused on success as related to work and not related to other human values and life's dimension. Is that today we come to a point, and especially since the pandemic and now in the post-pandemic, where work is taking most space in our life. So this is what I try to design here. So all the focus is done on work as our first priority. And then if there's time, then we can think about other areas like social time with family and friends, well-being, self-care, which started since the pandemic, purpose and meaning. For many people, they even don't have it. So this is like the ideal scenario for most people today. But most people are basically focusing on work. And it's coming from this belief system I just mentioned here. I mean, we haven't been educated with balancing between work and other dimensions in our life. We have been raised with, you have to study well to enter great companies and grow in those companies and get promoted and get high in the hierarchy. And then you're supposed to be happy because then you are successful. So this is what we are supposed, this model for many years and decades was supposed to make most people happy. The reality is that this model, what we achieve today, and now there's much more awareness about it, especially the pandemic, accelerated this level of awareness at the individual and at the corporate level, is that the impact of this model is high level of stress, hard work, so too many hours at work, no time for oneself, so that means very few time for self-care, and disconnection with purpose, so no place for purpose. So that's the situation today. I'm going to show you what is for me the big reflection and what should be look like the future. Okay, so the future should be much more around. I have many dimensions in my life. I try to summarize the ones that I consider most important, even if, of course, it can be completely personalized for every person. So work should be a big part. And within work, we have career vision, we have values, ways of working, and it's important, of course. Work provides meaning in our life. We feel that we bring to the society thanks to work. So it's an important dimension. But also well-being, self-care should be as important. And I'm not comparing time. The bubbles have the same side, but it's not about time. It's about quality and being aware of those dimensions. So well-being and self-care is about having activities that are about taking care of our health in general. So that means our mental health, our physical health, our emotional well-being. And it has to do with many things like practicing activities like yoga or meditation, therapy, coaching, mentoring, sleep, so important for well-being as well. Then we have social time, which is absolutely necessary. We are, as humans, we can't live isolated. And we have seen that with the lockdown. I mean, many people got depressed and suffered a lot mentally. And it's one of the biggest challenges today, mental health, because they disconnected from others, from family, from friends, from networks, from enjoying life, going traveling. So we need this social time where we interact with other people, where we share experiences, where we learn from other people. And there's another dimension that is more individual and more internal and more deep, which is having activities that are related to our purpose and meaning. So that means that we have hobbies, we do learning that are related to what we love. So with this vision of future, we can achieve fulfillment, we can achieve satisfaction, we can achieve success, because then we can say that we are integrating many dimensions that provides purpose and meaning. And we can also achieve self-growth, because we can grow through work, we can grow through social interactions, we can grow through what we love, and we can also grow when we take care of ourselves, because we are much more grounded and we are better leaders, by the way. So living on purpose, basically, is nothing else for me than the balance between the most important and meaningful areas of our life. So here is an example of Sarah. Sarah, I worked with her just to show you that this example that is more generic can be converted to something like this. So for Sarah, she has a different, let's say, different support system. She has work and learning, so she grouped them together. She has well-being and balance. She has self-care as something she wanted to separate. She has family and friends with focus on the relationship. Experiences for her was very important, and money. But they are all at the same level, not in terms of time, in terms of being aware and having them present in her life and in her weekly agenda, let's say. So with this introduction, and now I'm going to introduce you Ikigai. Ikigai is a Japanese model that helps uncover your purpose. So if you have, for the people that just joined the masterclass, I invite you either to use a tablet where you can write, or your computer, or either use just a book note or a paper with a pen, so you can really do the exercise at the same time as the masterclass while I'm guiding you. So basically, Ikigai is a model that basically says that there are 4 big areas that any individual should have in his or her life. And when those 4 dimensions are present every day, then this person achieves the Ikigai. That means that she lives on purpose. So the first dimension is what we love. That means everything that provides us joy, positive energy, smile, because naturally we love it. So it could be hobby, it could be passion, it could be having an activity that really boosts our energy naturally. So all the model is based on what we like and how we are naturally. This is the first dimension that is very important. And now we're going to go step by step on each of them. The second dimension is what we are good at. That means where we stand out as individuals and as professionals, but not only as professionals. And this is, here I make the distinction between where we are good at in terms of skill, competency, but also in terms of talents and gifts, because we all have both. We have skills that we have acquired through our professional experience and life experience, and we also have natural gifts and talents that we came out to the world with them. And those are the ones that probably our family, closest family, know better, because we've raised with those natural gifts. They should be in this area as well. Then we have what we can get paid for. What we can get paid for is not only what we have studied. This is what we have been educated with, but actually we can get paid for anything you do extremely well. You can get paid for your job, of course, or similar job. Get paid for providing languages lessons, cooking lessons, dancing lessons, photography lessons. You can conferences, being a teacher in a business school. There's many ways to get paid for what we love and what we're good at. But most of the time we see it very reduced to our professional background and limited to our professional background. And finally, there's another dimensions on Ikigai that says that it's not enough to live on purpose when you do what you love, when you do what you're good at, when you can get paid for it. You also need to respond to what the world needs and have impact. And everyone wants to have a different impact. There are people that want to have impact on children. Some people want to have impact on climate action. Some others want to have impact on protecting the animals. So everyone will have a different vision of what kind of impact he or she wants to have. Okay, so the objective of today, okay, and I'm going to show you a real example of a person I helped with this, is that we will go through the different dimensions. So the idea is that you will go feeling what you love, You will go feeling what you're good at. You will go feeling what you can get paid for, and you will go feeling what the world needs. This is an example, okay? It's in Spanish because I took that example just to show you, not to read the details, but just to show you the example. So I'm going to be guiding you with specific questions, and I really recommend you to do the exercise on the same time, so you can benefit from it and really have your Ikigai at the end of this session. So what is in blue is basically the summary of every dimension, okay? This is something I'm going to be also guiding you on it. And this is the summary of everything, which we're going to do also at the end. So let me start with the step number 1. So the step number 1 is this dimension on the top, which is the first most important dimension on the Ikigai. Ikigai meaning purpose in Japanese, is identifying what you love. So what I recommend you now is, through the questions I'm going to be saying, to connect with those questions and write down your own answers to those questions in the moment, very naturally, very spontaneously, no filter. This exercise is really nice when we do it without filter, and we just, it's for you, no one will see it. So it's, you can permission to yourself to do it this way. So the first question for me is, what are your life's drivers? That means, what are your passions? The things you most love in life. Could be something you love doing or you love being, any hobbies you love practicing. And it's not necessarily that you're practicing them today. It could be that you used to practice them and you stopped maybe today, or you never practiced them, but you always dreamt practicing them. So those could be, yes, passions that you have in life. I'm passionate about philosophy. I'm passionate about mindfulness, for instance. I have passion for cooking. I have passion for traveling. I have passion for meeting people so different to me. So these are just examples. I have passion for learning and growing, just to inspire you. So those are the passions that are really things that you love doing naturally without forcing yourself to do. Then another question is, what drives you every day? You know, what would make you like wake up in the morning with a smile, with a positive energy, that you want to wake up, you want to go and do what you want. So that's very important. Then also, what is your biggest dream? Give yourself permission in this exercise, at least, to connect with this biggest dream. I mean, if you could realize this big dream that is related to what you really love, deeply love, what would that be, that dream? Then another question related to this biggest dream is, what do you imagine yourself doing every day in an ideal world? Try to, you know, write down what would be your ideal day, you know, waking up, having a cup of tea, cup of coffee, I don't know, going for running, meditating, doing yoga, listening to a podcast, having breakfast with your family or with friends. Try to imagine that. Where would you imagine yourself living? Where would you love to live? And finally, what kind of life would you like to have? So all those questions are related to identifying what you love and what are your life's drivers. Could be very simple examples, you know. Usually they're very simple. I love candles. I love fragrances. I love taking photography. I love writing, even if I'm not doing it. So please try to write down as many lines as you can related to those life drivers, which are passions, hobbies, things that you enjoy doing, traveling the world, meeting new people, learning, what kind of learning you want to have, what kind of physical activity you like to have, what kind of people you like to meet also, what kind of environment you like to live in. So all those questions are about identifying what you love, because what we love naturally provides us positive energy and joy without any effort. Okay, so I'm going to move on to the second step. And now we're going to discuss how to identify what you're great at. So this is the second dimension on Ikigai that is important and that is contributing to your purpose, and is doing every day things that you feel you are good at them. So here I'm going to be asking you also some key questions that you can answer individually. The first question would be, what are your strengths and natural gifts? The best way to answer this question is to think about what your parents, brothers, cousins, closest friends told you since you were very, since your childhood. So this is for sure honest and sincere, and start from those natural gifts, natural talents that without doing effort you have, and we all have them. No exception to that. We all have natural gifts. We came to this world without having to do any effort. Some people will be very good at connecting, at having empathy. Some people will be very good on communication. Some people will be very good on organizing stuff. Some other people will be very good to teach. There are people that really, it's a vocation. They love teaching. They love sharing their knowledge. Those are the natural gifts you came to this world with. Then you have the strengths, which are more what you acquired through your growth, through your studies, through your work experience. And those would be more, let's say, the hard and soft skills you have acquired through your professional background. What is interesting here is really to answer both sides. So what you have acquired through learning and development, and what you have naturally. Okay. Where do you stand out naturally? That's really an important one. What your closest family and friends would say about what you're great at. So if you ask the closest people, what would they say about you? And finally, what your colleagues and boss would say about what you're great at. So it's really about this integration of the family and friends and the work environment, and those dimensions of skills and strengths at work, but also natural gifts and talents, not related to work necessarily. So I leave you some little bit more time so you can write down what inspires you for this dimension. And I'm going to follow with the next one, which is to identify what you can get paid for. So what you can get paid for, I started explaining it a little bit when I introduced the Ikigai model. And it's basically what are the professional skills and experience you can get paid for? So that's the most natural answer that we all have, because it's related to all the focus we did since we were a child. So the kind of orientation we took at school that led us to certain studies. Those studies led us to certain internships, and those internships led us to join the marketplace and choose a specific road in finance, in supply chain, in marketing, in sales, becoming a doctor. I mean, for everyone, it's going to be different. So that's the most natural one, because all the focus, if you remember on the bubbles slide, because we gave most of our time and energy to work, that's the most natural. We fed very strongly this dimension of professional skills and experience. So this is, of course, one important area, which is your work experience and background that you can get paid for. Definitely. But usually we think about it just from the work experience, but not from the the natural gifts and talents I just mentioned before. So you can also get paid if you're a great speaker. You can get paid for giving conferences on your field, giving conferences, which is not necessarily what you're doing today. This is just an example. Or becoming a business school teacher in marketing, for instance. That could be also something you can get paid for. If you speak languages, you can also get paid for speaking languages. If you love traveling and you have special knowledge on a specific area of the world or specific culture, you can also get paid for creating something around that. And then you can also get paid for your passion. So imagine that you beside your work, you love photography, you love painting, you love cooking, and you're great at it. You probably have considered it as a passion as of today or a hobby. And why not? You can also create something out of this passion and hobby and get paid for it. So my point here is basically to open up your mind and approach what you can get paid for, not only from your professional background and experience, but also from the whole person you are. That integrates your professional skills, but also integrates who you are as a person. And actually, I always say as a career advisor, when you go to interviews, you have many people that have very similar professional skills and experience. What makes the difference will be the personality and the individual talents and gifts. And the storytelling has to do with the personal talents and gifts. It doesn't have to do with the similar skills and experience that many people can share. So this second dimension is very important because this is what makes the difference. So very important to identify it for yourself, because you can use it at work, you can use it on interviews, and you can also leverage it at some point in your career. You can also leverage it with a new approach to your career. And maybe you can have a plan B on your career, which is a second leg that is more based on what you love than more on what you have acquired, not only limited to what you have acquired. So that would be the step number 3. And now we're going to see the step number 4. So the step number 4, after what you love, what you're good at, and what you can get paid for, is more about what you consider from your perspective, what the world most needs. So as I mentioned before, this is a very personal question. Actually, all the exercise is extremely individual and personal. So it's more about, we all have a personal story. We all have strong drivers. And as I mentioned before, I'm personally driven by human and children. So everything related to having a positive impact on people's motivation, empowerment, trusting is very important to me. And I believe that children need to acquire those skills since very young. So that's why I'm very focused on the human part. Some other people will be extremely focused on protecting animals because that's very important to them. I'm also, for example, I'm also very focused on climate action because for me, it's a strategic topic. And I believe, and that's very personal, that the world needs it and that our children needs it and the next generation needs it. And once you identify what, from your perspective, the world needs, then you can answer the second question, which is what kind of contribution do you want to have? And it's very related to which impact do you want to leave behind as a legacy. So I know those questions we don't ask ourselves usually because they seem very far from our everyday. Again, this is because, and I come back to this one for the people that joined later, this is because work takes so much place and space of our life that there's very few space for reflecting on what provides us meaning, what provides us joy, positive energy. Work can be, of course, part of it, but it's not limited to work. So my message for you today is what other dimensions beside work provides you with meaning and joy and self-growth. And then creating, you have the possibility to create them because no one will create the dimensions for you. Work will always ask you for more. So if you don't push those little bubbles and make them grow, like you have to give them space because work will always ask you for more. So it's really a very conscious exercise to do, to develop this self-awareness of developing other areas on top of work. And that was an example just for the people that joined later. I saw some people joining later, that it's so important to be aware of what are the other dimensions that provides you with meaning. I have actually a philosophy, kind of motto. For me, we should have in our daily life two things: activities that provides us with meaning and activities that bring value. Anything else for me is secondary. So everything we do should provide value, could be to the company, should be a value for people. If you're a teacher, for instance, providing value that you bring something from what you know to the world, and providing meaning, because meaning is our fuel. If you live without meaning, we progressively get dry. We lack feeding. We need to feed our whole person with meaningful activities, meaningful dimensions. And work is part of the meaningful dimensions. Of course, work is part of it, but it can't be just work. That's my message. And that is that is what Ikigai stands for. If you see, what you can get paid for is one dimension out of 4. So you have what you love, what you're good at, what the world needs, and then you have what you can get paid for. But it's not all your life and your purpose is based on what you can get paid for. No, it's 1 out of 4. So this is the example I showed before. So we were here identifying what the world needs and which impact do we want to leave behind as a legacy. And you should have something in terms of list. You should have not as long as this one. That is an example that I shared before, just to show you what you can do with it now. So what I invite you to do now is to look at what you love list and try to extract one sentence with some keywords from your list that you can put here above. So in this example, for instance, this person mentioned that the essence of what she loves was the relation to the self-focus on herself, also the relationship with other people, So very important to that person. And also she loves the spaces and she loves to live with deepness. So have deep relationships, deep projects. So this is what she loved the most. So there are many things as examples below, but actually that sentence that is in blue captures the essence of what she loves. So if you have the possibility to capture that essence based on your list, that would be wonderful, because that will give you like the one strong sentence of what you love. That is based on values, keywords that you can extract as a summary from your list. So if you want to write me on the chat, if you're ready, I can follow with the rest. If you need some more time, please, you can also tell me on the chat. Okay, so I don't see any comments, so I'm going to follow. So we're going to do the same with what I'm good at. Remember, it's in all aspects, professional and personal. And what you're good at, understood as your strengths, your professional skills, but also your natural gifts and talents that you came up to this world with. And here again, you can also write a summary, one sentence that summarizes, that captures the summary of your list in what you're good at. And this list is very honest. It's what people gave you as feedback. It's what your closest family, friends also would say about you. And it's also about your self-perception. It's everything. So for this person, for instance, to inspire you, this person is an executive, actually. And she said here, what I'm good at is in connecting with people, organizing creatively, and selling convincing. Okay, so this is really what captures for this person where she is very good at, and it integrates her professional skills with her natural gifts. So give you a little bit of time so you can write down this sentence as a synthesis. And now maybe we can move to what you can get paid for. So this person works in marketing today, and this person mentioned I can get paid for ordering, interior design, be a coach, a mentor on slow living. She loves this concept. Training in companies, in sales, in personal development, being a consultant in sales, giving conferences, organizing events, and giving Spanish lessons, because she's Spanish native. So basically, the capture of what she can get paid for has to do with consulting, mentoring, and coaching. So this is what she mentioned. And today she works in marketing. You know, it's not, so it's very interesting to see the perspective is much wider than just what we're doing currently in our career. So it really captures all who you are, who we are, all the person, all our whole person, our whole personality, our whole what we want, who we are, not only separating, you know, work with our personal dimension. And finally, what the world needs, in this case, it was about teaching other people to live with less stress, showing more compassion and love, and also raise awareness and providing well-being to the people around them. So this is what this person believes, most people, what the world needs, and what she wants to bring as an impact. So this person wrote as a summary of everything based on those 4 dimensions that she is all this and she embraces it. So she was happy to embrace all that she wrote down here. And she said, my Ikigai is about living in balance with self-care, prioritizing, putting order, connecting deeply with people, serving, teaching, and having a life with quality. So this is, again, the summary of this. So this is what comes here, okay? So she ended up summarizing it this way. So I invite you, we're gonna do the same with you. So if you think about your Ikigai, you can write down now, like what you love, the sentence, the summary sentence of what you love. Then put very close to it the summary sentence of what you're good at, that captures the essence of what you're good at the professional and personal level, and what you get paid for, also the summary, and the impact you want to have as well. So once you have it, now you should have a holistic Ikigai, which is this, you know, which is the crossing the summaries list of those 4 dimensions: what you love, what you're good at, what the world needs, and what you can get paid for. So in this case, just to inspire, there was a focus on her person, and she said, okay, I want to be balanced. I want to integrate more balance and self-care. In terms of order, I want to prioritize and order much better my life. I want to connect with everything that is related to human. And I want to serve, I want to help, I want to teach. So that's her essence. And based on that, okay, based on that, on this holistic Ikigai that we capture as a summary of all those dimensions and all those sentences, then my question for you would be, what could be the related career Ikigai to what you have captured here and here? So for this person, she ended with, my career Ikigai would be working, putting the human, having a professional activity where connection with people is in the center of this activity. I can also have self-growth, learn, and I can also serve others and help them with everything I'm good at. So that means not only my hard skills, my professional related skills, but also my natural gifts. And this person, for instance, she was very good in connecting with people, in organizing herself creatively, and in selling and convincing. So the career purpose should come from the summary of what you have here. It should be an extraction. It's like the baby of your Ikigai, of your holistic Ikigai. So here, what I invite you to do is try to write down what could be the career Ikigai that is the baby of your holistic Ikigai. And it's not one sentence. You can have it as bullet points, like my career Ikigai can be, in her case, it was about consulting, mentoring, teaching, orienting. So it's interesting to see from this perspective, the career Ikigai as related to the whole Ikigai and not the other way around, which is usually what we do. That we believe that we have like a career objective, and we believe that the career objective is our Ikigai. Actually not. It's what is my holistic Ikigai and what is the career Ikigai I can extract from it. So we're gonna share together on the Q&A session this part, so I can maybe answer doubts if you have. Okay, I just would like to end before we move into the Q&A session. I would like to share with you that I have several executive career coaching and mentoring programs like those ones you can see here, which is lead your career with purpose, achieve work-life balance while staying high performing, or create your B plan with concrete guidance, which is very related to this career Ikigai for the people that maybe discovered today something different that was not aware of, for instance. And for the people that are here today, before we move into the Q&A session, I would like to offer the possibility to have a 30 minutes free clarity coaching session that you can book by tomorrow on this link that I'm going to share on the chat. So we have the opportunity maybe to deep dive more on your Ikigai, or you can ask me any question related to your career challenges or integration that you have in this moment. So this is the link that you can use. I invite you, if you're interested, to book very quickly this session, so you can find space and we can discuss your individual needs and challenges in this moment. So having said that, now I propose we move into the Q&A session, and I'm very open to any question you may have related to what I shared with you, and especially to the Ikigai, which was the topic today. So please feel free to ask me any question, any comments. I'm here to help you and to answer any question. Okay. Did you appreciate this exercise for the people that are still here? Maybe you can use the chat, or you can just speak up directly. I mean, now it's open, so we can unmute. You know, you can.
Yes, I do.
I got.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I heard about the Ikigai like I think 2 weeks ago, and I didn't know how to start. And so then I just saw that you were doing a coaching about it. So I was like, oh, that's the perfect timing. And so now it's really helped me to go through it and try to go in deep and understand what does it mean, and understand my meaning and the value that I want to give in my life. So thank you. Even if I'm still starting, and I guess I need to go in deep, and it's not like a short process. It's giving in a short a long term. But yeah, really helped me. So thank you.
Yes, I confirm you, Agathe, that it's actually, this is like the first step, you know?
Yeah.
It's a longer process to uncover how you can translate your Ikigai and bring it alive into your life. So then usually when I do this process, we convert it into a belief system, a support system. We convert it into your agenda, into daily routines, daily rituals.
Mm-hmm.
And then through those everyday practices, then you live on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
So this is just a 1 hour masterclass about like giving you a taste of how powerful is Ikigai, and how it's not so theoretical, because usually we believe Ikigai is very far and it's utopian, you know?
Yeah.
And I wanted just to show you that, no, it's not so utopic. It's really something, it's really a tool you can, one of the tools that you can use to reflect on your purpose, on your life purpose, and then extract from this life purpose the career purpose, and not the other way around. Starting from the big you that integrates everything, and then extract from it the career. So it's a different perspective.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I really like it, because usually we didn't take time at all of asking ourselves this type of question. So this is the right time. So yeah, I really like it. Thank you. Thank
you, Agathe. Thank you for all your positive comments. So yes, I'm going to be sharing the recording of this session. So it's recorded. So the people that joined in the middle will be able to watch it back again. And also I had some question regarding Julie, you asked how much time do you usually need to do the Ikigai deeply with the client? So the Ikigai is about, the Ikigai till the career purpose, very well defined. It's about 4 sessions. So you just to give you an idea. I'm happy that it's helpful for most of you. Do you have any question? Is anyone wants to share any insight or anything based on what he or she developed today? So if there's no more question, thank you very much for attending this session today. And I will leave Sylvia for the closing.
Yes, thank you very much, all, and thank you, Inde, for this very interesting webinar. We will put the link of the replay in the event, so you could see it in Voir Replay in the event online. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody, and have a nice day, and see you in other masterclasses. Goodbye. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Agathe. Goodbye.